Okay, so you say you're a Christian. You say that you want to live authentically for Christ in the workplace. Well, let's take this hot moment. If I were to put you on the stand and look for the evidence to share with the jury as to whether or not, based on the evidence in your life, that the world could point at you and definitively say you're a Christian or not, how would you show up? What is the evidence in your life? Would the jury say unquestionably, without a reasonable doubt, you are a Christian based on the evidence? Not what you say now, based on the evidence. Or would the jury be hung? It's like, we don't know. We can't really tell. This is the case and for a lot of people. But today we're going to talk about how to include God in our career, an area of our lives that a lot of us Christians traditionally keep God out of, because this is our skill set. This is an area we feel competent in. We got this, okay? And we keep God out. But when things are tough and someone's dying or we lost our job, yeah, we're praying and all that. But when it comes to everything being, our job and our career and our business, well, we can leave God out of it. But if you're determined to be like me, where you want to be authentic, you want to have God all over your life and running your life and being present and visible and omnipotent and all powerful in your life, how do we include God in our career? How do we live out loud for Christ? Now, let's go back to how not to do this. How not to do this. Remember that chart where most of us are showing up very hypocritically. But how is it that we can show up Christ-like in our actions and Christ-like in our attitudes? Well, let's determine how not to do it, because to be what they determined the Pharisee-like behavior was in actions is, I tell others the most important thing in my life is following God's rule. I tell them that. I don't talk about my sins or struggles. That's between me and God. I try to avoid speaking with people who are openly gay or lesbian. Oh God, don't let me be seen with those people. I like to point out those who do not have the right theology or doctrine. Oh, let's get into this. Let's argue about this. Let's go fist to fist because, you're wrong, I'm right. We're going to have this out right here, right now. I prefer to serve people who attend my church rather than those outside the church. Let's keep it here. Let's keep it private. Let's keep it all about us. Who cares about them? I just want to remind you right here, by the way, that Jesus didn't come for the well. He came for the sick, and he didn't come for the religious. He came for the lost. So that means, hanging out with just your little crowd is not necessarily a good thing. But what about the self-righteous attitude? I find it hard to be friends with people who seem to constantly do the wrong things. It's not my responsibility to help people who won't help themselves. I feel grateful to be a Christian when I see other people's failures and flaws. Oh, thank God I am not like them. I believe we should stand against those who are opposed to Christian values. Come on, let's duke it out, because you're not like me. We have completely different views, and I'm going to fight you and point you out. People who follow God's rules are better than those who are not. I'm better than you, no question about it. These are the self-righteous actions and self-righteous attitudes that are coming out of us in that hypocritical way. Then, so those people who do know we're Christians, they're looking on and going, sorry, not interested. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong in any of these actions or attitudes independently, but don't forget that self-righteous portion to it. And it's how we're perceived. So, honestly, guys, how do we actually do this thing? Now, by no means is this video or this course going to be comprehensive. There's no way I have all the answers. And I am no theologian. I am just like you. I'm just an ordinary human being who loves Christ and has a proactive and intentional decision to go and seek these answers out and make this an important thing in my life and include God everywhere and not to leave him out. And that's all it is. And so I don't have all the answers, and I'm going to encourage you in the discussion area of this course that if you have a great tip or you have a question, let's discuss it politely and respectfully here. No one I should be rude about this, but I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to just share some ideas, some ways with you, and none of itself has to be done, and all can be done. It's just, these are just ideas, okay? So how do people know you're Christian? How can you include God in your career? How can you live out loud for Christ? How can there be evidence that, you know, even if you kept your mouth shut, would speak for you and declare you without a reasonable doubt to be Christian? Well, some people have a sign somewhere, t-shirts, announcements, they post it on Facebook. If you go to my fan page, for example, or if you go to my radio show, I have it right there, unapologetically Christian. So in other words, I do have an announcement, a public sign, but not everybody is going to do that, or feels comfortable to do that, or think it serves them to do that. I can tell you, sometimes it can work against you too, but it's one way. It's one way. It's not the only way. It's not the correct way. It's just one way. All right. Another way is to invite people to church. I promise you, they're in your building of 400 employees, in your building of 10 employees, you know, if in your network of online connections that you're talking to, there are others who are Christian as well, and you don't know about them and they don't know about you. But if you begin to just invite others to church, hey, we're not the experts, but let them hear from the experts. Church is also going to give them an opportunity for encouragement, so we can just invite people. It's not really that hard. But again, some don't do that, and it's not the only way. It's just another way. Again, those Christians that are sitting in the cubicle next to you or somewhere in the building, maybe you could get together and have a Bible study during lunch or after hours at someone's home. Again, you don't have to do this. It's just one idea. For everyone, though, I'm going to encourage you to stay in the Word daily. Pray daily. Oh, this is paramount regardless. I just think this is absolutely necessary, because when we stay in the Word, we wouldn't go a day without eating, at least not for very long. Why do we go without spiritual nourishment? It just doesn't make any sense. We will become spiritually weak if we do. And if we stay in the Word and we pray daily, we're going to have favor from God, and we're going to see opportunities open up, that just because we are so close to God. Are we living in a Christ-like way? Is the fruit of the Spirit being displayed in our lives, or are we mean, crotchety, not very generous, not hospitable, not joyful? How are we displaying the fruit of the Spirit? Are we deliberately applying biblical principles to our activity? And that's what this course is going to help you to do, if nothing else. To be very deliberate about embracing the Bible as a practical, relevant guide, not only to life and to those Christian compartments of our life, but as a guide to business, to our career, to leadership, to mission, to ministry, to our passion, to our life, to our behavior. So that is something that we can absolutely do. Now, guys, this list is not comprehensive. Please, in the discussion area, add your tips, ideas, questions, and let's be respectful about how we respond, and not be pharisaical in our ways of going about that, and not getting to harsh and rambling discussions. But if you have a great tip, a strategy for helping the others, the body of believers, make this practical and relevant, please include that in the discussion. But I hope this will get you thinking and begin to be very deliberate about applying biblical principles to your activity, choices, and behavior. Trudy Behrman here. End of this workshop, and I hope you're getting what you came here for. Most importantly, if you walk away with nothing else, it is my absolute goal for you to walk away with an appreciation of the Bible in a brand new way, to no longer compartmentalize your life, but to totally, as a Christian, embrace the Bible as a practical and relevant guide to your career, to your money, to your profit, to your life. Thank you.